Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. Listen, you've heard my hashtag different, better, more. What will you do differently, better, or more of in 2023? Some of you have already committed to healing from grief by working with me and my non-clinical approach to grief recovery and support. But for those of you who want to round out your healing with a clinical approach, there's BetterHelp and their network of over 25,000 licensed therapists. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether that's by text, by chat, phone, or even video. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom picked for you, with more scheduling flexibility and at a much more affordable price. Use this link to get 10% off your first month. BetterHelp.com/C-words. That's better, HELP.com/C-words. Listen, grief doesn't have to be grim. That's why when I talk about it on this podcast, it's about dealing with grief and loss in a way that influences the changes you want to make in your life. As you heal, what do you want to do next? Make a professional pivot, end a toxic relationship or friendship? I want you to have the confidence to navigate change. These are real stories from my one-on-one coaching sessions and my inspiring interviews with change makers. I'm Marceia Cork, the change coach, and this is Ooh, those effing C-words. Hello, MCs. We are back, this time with part 2 of my conversation with FOX45 BMore Lifestyle personality, Lady T, of Spilling the Tea with Lady T and her Let Me Tell You segments. And as I always say with these 2-part interviews, you guys have waited long enough. So we're going to pick up right where we left off last week with Lady T giving us the tea on how she pitched herself to the powers that be at the network and moved from behind the assignment desk to in front of the camera, landing her own segments at BMore Lifestyle. And really, she's just getting started. We're also going to hear how she credits her mom for being the force that catapulted her success, even as she deals with the devastating loss of her #1 fan. That's all coming up right now. Let's listen. As you continue to pitch yourself, so now you've got this following who knows and supports Lady T when you approach FOX45 to develop this segment.
Yes.
And so how does Spilling the Tea evolve out of that?
It just, Spilling the Tea, it was like, let me see. You have to, first of all, I had to come up with several names for the segment. It was like, what's the 411? It was like I came up with like several names, but they were like, no, Spilling the Tea. They were like, no, we want Spilling the Tea. And I said, okay, fine.
Like, okay, so it didn't have any, I thought it was maybe a play on your name.
Yeah, so I was just like, no, because it's TEA. So I was just like, what do you want to? And they were like, yeah, Spilling the Tea with Lady T.
Yeah,
and I was
like, alliteration. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. And I was like, oh, all right. So I kind of saw where they were going with it. And I said, you know what? Let's do it. I said, because every time I used to go upstairs and talk to them and be like, oh, let's look, y'all, it's tea time. And I would just have these little phrases that I would say. Like, when you develop your brand, you really got to do a lot with it. Like, what did I say? Like, I think when they first used to introduce me, I would be like, hey, y'all. But like, after a while, it was like, I got to come up with like some slogans or something. So then I started saying, now go sip on all that tea. And then like, I know I'm a shoulders person. I can't help it. I'm sorry. But so like you have to come up with different little slogans you say. Like I say, hey, fellow tea sippers, or you know, because everybody's talking about spilling the tea at the time. It was like everybody was talking about spilling the tea. so I had to really make it my own, and it was really a little tough because I was like, I really like what's the 411 or what's the like what's happening now, or Lady T News now, or you know, or you know it, or I was coming up with different things, and I was like, oh yeah, I like these are cute, and they were just like, no, Spilling the Tea with Lady T. I was like, yeah, let me go.
You said I need something. Let me get a cute cup.
I was like, yeah, but we could do this. It was like, bring it down here. And it made me feel like, I was like, man, how am I gonna make this work? And listen, I sure enough did. Spillin The Tea has elevated since then. Spillin The Tea has moved up. Yeah, let me tell you, I was doing, how long was my segment? My segment was like 6 minutes long. I would do like 8 different entertainment news stories, have these conversations with them, and you know, with the host of the show, and it was like 5 or 6 minutes long. And then they did a rebranding, and they was like, okay, we got to shorten these segments, so every segment is going to be like 3 minutes long. And I was like, well, dang, okay, let me see how I can make this happen. Let me see how I can do this. And
because you're riding the high of actually pitching this, getting it to see light of day. Excited about that.
I was doing it once a week, and it was 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Then he was like, girl, you got all the time in the world, 7 minutes. I was like, hey, look at God. Like, I was living a dream. And then all of a sudden it was like, all right, we're going through a rebranding phase. And this was like 2 years in, and they was like, we got to shorten the segments. And I was like, dang. So I was like, okay, so now I got to say all of what I've been saying, but like in less time. So for me, that was hard. I had to change the photos I was using. We couldn't use certain images anymore. Yo, it was tough. I realized how much I went through and had to readjust. And then we were on My TV Baltimore at first, and then they switched it over to FOX45, like actually on FOX45, because we at our station we have 3 different networks. We have CW, My TV Baltimore, and FOX45.
Okay.
So they were like, we're gonna put BMore Lifestyle on FOX45, and I got to be the host, to be the very first host of the show on FOX45 when it came on FOX45. So that was amazing. But then they were like, okay, now the Spilling the Tea segment, they were like, we got to like change some things. And I was like, oh man. So I couldn't read off a card anymore. They were like, we need you to read a script. I was like, oh man, that was difficult. So y'all got to practice reading scripts at home.
Okay. So are these on a teleprompter?
You got to practice reading teleprompters. Like,
okay.
One thing I really do excel at, I could say, is a teleprompter. I have like, I'm not good with like serious news, but I'm really good at like the teleprompter. I can read. I can read really well. I can fake it. I can make up things.
Can you deviate? Can you deviate from the script? How much are they writing for your personality?
As long as it still makes sense, you're fine. You're good. It's just,
and are the writers trying to capture your personality, or are you a part of that writing for the script?
Oh, listen, that was a big deal too. They was like, now you got to write it too. They was like,
okay,
you got to write your tea also. I used to just have it on like a card, and then they were like, and our executive producer, our new one, she was like, okay, now we're gonna do. She was like, now we're gonna actually like have you write it yourself, because we want you to put in that Lady T like sizzle. They wanted that Lady T, your language, because you're not saying what's on there. You're doing it like this. You're doing this. You're like, oh my gosh, wait, what? And the commentary, they were like, put that in there too. So I had to start writing the script. That was different too. You have to learn how to write a script. Oh God, that was different for me also. It was a transition, but it upgraded. My executive producer, Erin Miller, I love you so much. She upgraded my segment. And because of the upgrades she made to my segment and us adding in Lemme Tell You, I came up with a name for that segment. Because all of them pulling me in a room was like, they were like, okay, what do you tell people when you want to like, you know, say some kind of news or something, you know, talk about trending topics. And I was like, I'd be like, oh, let me tell you. And that's how we came up with the title for it.
Yeah, I've heard it since we've been talking today. You've said it a couple of times.
Yeah, I say it repetitively. It was my thing. I still say it a lot. And it's because like, and that's how I came up with it. And that's how we came up with the name for the segment. So, you know, you really got to pitch. Look, you really got to like pitch yourself for certain things. But yeah, that's how Spillin The Tea it's upgraded. And the next thing you know, I get nominated for an Emmy. I submitted my tea, the Let Me Tell You, and different things I was doing, and boom, Emmy
So
nomination. I was like, this is a lot.
Tell us about that process, because I know there's a lot that people don't know about the process to,
that was like, I mean, mainly your stations do it. Your TV stations, they do it. There's a one person at your station who will help you. Basically, they're like, what do you want to submit for? And I'm like, I don't know, you tell me. And you put together. So there's different ways that you can go about doing it for the Capital Emmys. You can do like little snippets of different things that you've done, or you can do an entire package. A package is basically like your full story. Sometimes it's 3-4 minutes long. Sometimes you're looking for a certain amount of time, and and it's really there's one person at your station who helps you with that process.
Okay,
but you got to come up with your best
this
stuff.
time of year. There's already someone who's ready to start packaging or supporting the talent.
So we already submitted. So that's the thing. So it starts as of December of the year. It starts in December. So December of 2022, they were like, hey, look, start submitting. They were like, what do you want to submit for? Start submitting. And you have to pull your best stuff. You put your best stuff together, and you hope for the best. I remember last year, I didn't get nominated, nothing. I was like, oh man. But then the Emmys was like, can you come host? We're doing a social media stage. Okay. We want you to be one of our hosts. And I was like, okay. So
and they found you. They approached you.
They came. Yeah, they were like, we always have you talk to the upcoming journalists. So they were like, we want you to come on and just, can you come host? Can you come host this stage for us? They do this social media stage. And I guess they had tried it before and it didn't work. So I don't know how that went. But yeah, it was like our first year back in person at the Capital Emmy Awards, and they were like, host our social stage. And I was reading tweets and I was keeping everybody laughing, and I had different, like, it was like being a part of like the big Emmy Awards. I was like, this is nice. Okay.
So you mentioned the Capital Emmys earlier in our conversation. So at this point, are you a member? Are you a student member?
Oh no. So when did this happen? This was in 2020. Was this 2021? I think it was 2021 when I submitted, and they told me I won for the 20s. They told me I was nominated. So like that's what I said. It's the December before. It's the December before. They're like, okay, look, we're ready to start getting like your 2021 stuff. And yeah, that was the year I got nominated for. But we had to submit December 2021, and they don't tell you until like May. So they'll tell you until May of the following year. But yeah, that was like 2021. That was a heck of a year, because that was the year I had was that the year whenever COVID had like COVID was in official swing 2020. And I think that was a lot was going on for me that year. My Popeyes had reached out to me for my Popeyes video sandwich. That was a heck of a year. And then I didn't even know that they actually used it in a commercial until, when was that? The end of December / January, December 2020, and then 2021. I was like, it was everywhere. Everybody was like, your face is on TV all the time talking about this chicken sandwich. And I was like,
okay, so tell me about that process. So they don't have to reach out to you. You don't have to get
they reached out to me.
Waivers or
no, they did. They were like, they sent it through somebody else who represented them. And they were like, hey, can we use they were like, hey, we're thinking about using like 9 seconds of your video. So what happened was in 2019, when Popeye chicken sandwich was the popping thing, everybody was talking about it. Everybody was doing videos. So my little silly self, I thought I could do a video. I thought it was a great process. I thought I could do a video. I did. I'm just talking about different things of how how amazing the sandwich is. I'm like, this chicken sandwich tastes like it went to an HBCU and was in a marching band. And I was like, I just started going off about different things I thought this Popeye chicken sandwich did. And and it was just me being funny.
Sent it up to God and he swiped right.
He sent it up to God and he swiped right. And you know, this it tastes like someone's grandma Lucille fried and spice right over. Send it to God, and she's like, right. And he's like, right. And I, you know, with me saying those things, I was just really trying to be funny. And it was just a normal video, my actual video, and my station posted it. Everybody was posting it. And I got fried, girl. They like went in on me. People were like, girl, you don't even talk about no chicken sandwich. Like, you too big to be doing that. Like,
oh no.
Yes, girl. I got lit up in the comments. They was like, oh Lord, here she go.
That's
What is that?
media.
Why is her room pink? I mean, they went in on me. And I felt so bad for even doing the video. Because I was like, dang, like I didn't think it'd be that much negative response.
Yeah.
And then Popeyes reached out and was like, hey, we think we want to use like 9 seconds of your video. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I was like, all right. So they said, we just need your permission. And I said, it's perfect. Here you go. And I didn't know which 9 seconds of it they needed to use. They were like, I had to run through a test to see like if people would like it. And then I ain't hear from them for a while. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe they decided not to use it. And that's why 8 months later, I was like, I wonder whatever happened to that. But I never heard anything.
I see. Okay.
I ain't never hear anything. They said, we need your permission. Here you go. Like, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. I signed it. And it was just, you know, that was like, I mean, that was a surprise because I didn't know that. I thought it was just for the test, you know, to see like how it, you know, ranges with people, how it how they react to it. I thought that's what it was for. So I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, they're just using it for that. Like I feel so important still. And then when I saw my face on TV, I was like, oh my God, I wish I had did my makeup better. Like I was like, oh.
So how much strategy is involved in that then? Because when you
that was literally the strategy of God. That was just the strategy of God.
So when you created the video, it was for what? Just for fun? Just something to post?
I was trying to be a content creator. I thought I was Kev on stage, girl.
Gotcha.
I thought,
okay.
And I got to open up for him, thank God. But I got to open up for him one time, and it was hilarious. It was great. But I was trying to be a content creator. I saw all these people making videos, and I was like, you know, my life coach at the time, Chardell Moore, was like, you can be fun. You're so funny. You can do this. Like, start making videos. And I was like, oh man, like I gotta put in work. And she said, yeah, start making the funny videos now. So when I tell you, this woman put me to work. She literally had me doing so many things that I would not ever do.
Okay.
But she really believed in me.
We have to put her information in the episode notes.
Yes, you're gonna have to put her, Chardell Moore. This woman, she's a motivational speaker now.
Okay.
But she literally, that sis, oh my gosh, she really put me in, she really like got me where I am. She pushed me. Every week she gave me a new task. And I'd be like, yo, Chardell, leave me alone. But I would do it. Because something about her voice and when she said it, like I just reacted. My spirit jumped and I was like, oh, I gotta do it now.
Yeah.
So she just had me like, I said, okay, I'm gonna do these funny videos like you said. And I did the funny video and a lot of people laughed. They really did. A lot of people did like it, but it was the negative stuff that I focused on. And I said, dang, people are brutal. I was like, oh my gosh, people are harsh, but I'm glad I did it. My face was everywhere for a long time. And I look back on it, I'm just like, and that was when I knew I was like, you know what, I really do want to be in acting. So I also try to do acting on the side too.
Okay. So how does that influence your relationship with FOX45? So does it help?
It helps. They love seeing my billboards that were in Pennsylvania. They were like, oh my God, you're on a billboard. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just wondering about things like you said, representing your brand, them doing this rebrand for the network.
Yes.
It just makes you wonder if anything that you do personally impacts, you know what I mean?
I always, I try to have a conversation with them. Like, hey, I have this coming up. It's just about communication. Like, there's certain things, of course, I know you can't do. But a lot of them just want you to have a conversation with them. Like, they're like, oh, okay, well, this is coming down the pike. Like, I'm doing this. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, so it's just the relationship that you have with your bosses. And I have great news directors and they're like, Lady T is a star.
Yeah.
you know, and they just throw up their hands. They just like, Lady T is a star. That's that. So
Yeah.
I love to hear it. Shout out to my assistant news director, Andrea. She's always like, nope, Lady T's a star. I love it. And so it's just about the relationship that you have with them. You know, there are limits, I know, to what you could do, but I don't see a limit. I'm just like, look, let me just do whatever I can at this point. I try not to go too far. I try to make better decisions as to what I actually do. But some of it comes to us as a surprise, because I didn't even know about the billboards. I knew that it was supposed to be like an internet ad. It was just a print ad, you know, for breast cancer. And I was so happy to be a part of it, because I was like, oh, yay, I get to be a part of this internet ad, and my mom would be so proud of me, you know, because she was a healthcare fanatic. So I was like, I love this. I'm so excited. And then it was actually our anchor, Tom Rogers. His wife was like, hey, Lady T's on a billboard in Pennsylvania. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, oh. And then I drove my behind right after work. I was like, let me go out there.
Yeah, I saw your post on Instagram.
I was like, let me go see it, because I want to see what I'm doing. And I was like, wow. And I sat there for just a few minutes just looking at it. And I was like,
yeah,
I just had to take it in, because I said, oh man, I'm so sad my mom isn't here for it. But for some reason I felt like, oh my gosh, like she's proud, like she would love this.
Yeah.
And I just needed to see for myself that it existed.
Yeah.
So then I come back and I'm like, I want a billboard, you guys. And you know, my station runs it. It was great. Yeah. And then my former executive producer at our station, who lives in Pennsylvania, he said, hey, there's a few more billboards of you. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, because so it's a regional thing. So they're seeing it because they're commuting into the area.
Yes. So he was like, you got a couple more. And then I was like, okay, well, I need to see those too. And I said, well, what am I going to do? And I picked a Saturday, and I said, I'm just going to drive up there and see it. And then I saw a couple, and then I got really overwhelmed, and I was like, this a lot. I was like, all right, let me come on back. Let me just go. I took photos, selfies. I did all that. And I was like, it's like a dream come true. So it was really nice to see, like, you know, that, I don't know, you just never know what God could do. Like he'll tell you what he can do early on in your life, and you're like, oh, this is what you meant. This is nice. I like this. So yeah, this is a process. It's a process, but you really have to believe in yourself, and you really have to like exude a confidence like none other, or else you're just going to continue to just dwell in a place where you're like, I should have done this. I could have done this.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be like that. So
don't want to have any regrets. So what about representation in this process? So do you have an agent? Do you have someone who's also looking for these opportunities for you?
I have an acting agent, and just for acting, not for TV, not for like the news part. I have an acting agent, and they are phenomenal. So they actually, my agency is who I'm with, and they find you like different places to audition for. But they knew my dreams, they knew my goals, and I was just like, I really want to do so much more than I don't know. I just felt like I'm supposed to be doing other things.
Yeah.
And they understood.
When did that start? Because at this point you have your own segment on BMore Lifestyle. So you're doing all the things at this point.
I know.
Yeah. So
I know. I don't know. Look, I tell you, I don't know what I'm on. But everything kind of happened so fast last year. I felt like, because by March was it March or April? I think I don't know. Several people kept telling me, you need an acting agent. Like, I can see you in movies, and you're hilarious, and you need to be doing other things. And I said, okay. So I got a referral from an anchor that I know, and I got a referral. Her friend is an acting. She's an actress as well. And she was like, and she saw my stuff, and she was like, oh, I think she was like, let me try to reach out to my agent. I think this would be great. And, you know, that was a connection that was like divine intervention. I felt like, because that's not easy. But yeah, so it was just something where it was like a friend of a friend, and she has an agent, and she was like, let me see if my agent will take you. And they were like, oh yeah, we want to meet her. And it was a Zoom. They set up a Zoom for like 3 weeks from then. And I was like, I didn't start taking some acting classes. So then I started taking acting classes at McKinnon Acting Studio. And
Okay.
I'm basically, I don't know if this matters, but I'm literally doing every single thing that my mom wanted me to do. We had talked about this, like hosting, acting, like comedy. She like, this is all that she wanted me to
so
do.
she did eventually lean into it and
She
was
was
supportive.
What?
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
When I opened for Kev on stage, she was up and just,
Yeah,
she was
you
so
did say
excited.
that. Okay. So
So
this has
she
all
got
been
with it.
within the past 2 years.
Yeah.
All
So
of it.
she was like, that was like, I mean, but she really like supported me, I want to say, when I started the reporter job. Like she was like, okay, yeah, I like this. So that was fine. But it was just I think as time went on, she just became more and more proud. And she was like, oh my gosh, I love this. I see this. I see the dream. She got with the program.
Yes.
I can say that. I did it real quick and I was like, lightning better not strike.
Yeah, I saw you looking up. Yeah.
And then I was like, I know she's here. So I get a little scared sometimes. Like,
I love it. I love it.
I was like, she got with the program.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was it was like, okay, so that all happened like last year, I want to say.
Okay.
And then like, Lord, from there, everything just was like, it kind of was like this. And the acting thing is a whole different discussion we got to have, because my Lord. But McKinnon Acting Studio, shout out to them. I started acting classes. I started trying to get my life together. It took me to new levels with them. I love my McKinnon Acting Studio, my family. That's a whole nother family. Shout out to Mark McKinnon. But yeah, like that was a great experience as well. So yeah, I basically like, I'm trying to tackle things that like, your dreams can come true. I'm trying to tackle all my dreams is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
So
you mentioned agency representation once you wanted to move into acting.
Right.
Would that have supported your career in news, like breaking into news, how hard it was in the beginning? Would that have helped?
Let me see. Hold on real quick. Let me get my charger.
Okay.
Don't kill me. Don't kill me.
Nope.
Hold on.
Nope. Do what you got to do.
I'm getting my charger. That's how much I love you.
I appreciate it.
I'm like, that's how much I love you. I said, let me get this charger going. Because my phone said 10%, but I believe it this time. All right, I'm here. All right, I'm back. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, there are TV agents. There are TV agents.
See, that's a professional right there. You jumped right back in.
Just act like everything's normal, lady. Just act like everything's normal. No, but I there are TV agents, and they do say it's good to get a TV agent. I know even I wanted one. But it's a good opportunity to have someone to represent you, so you don't have to go through a lot of those difficult things. So I don't have much experience with the TV agent part.
Okay.
But I know I know what they say to do is look for, Google TV agents, look at the reviews and see specifically what they tackle with TV news, and send emails out. Start to be like, hey, I'm Tiffany Lady T. I host this, I do that. I'm a reporter, I'm this or that. And those agents will represent you. And they get their cut, whatever your actual, you end up with your salary, but they definitely help represent for you. They want the best for you. They want you to have the biggest opportunity that you can get. And that is what their goal is. So I've heard of a lot of good experiences with TV agents.
Okay. So we're having this conversation and trying to, give some tips and best practices so people, when they want to pursue this, they don't have the challenges that you've had. And so I'm just trying to connect the dots. And would that have helped earlier on in your career? Okay. All right. So that's helpful.
Yes, it definitely. But see, for where I was going, it's a little tougher though, because I was, that's what I said, I'm not the norm. So I can tell you, I had to open a door that wasn't there. That was different though. I was opening a door that was not there. So it was like, you have entertainment news on your lifestyle show. Okay, well, I can bring that, and here's why you need it. And that is what I did. So it was just opening doors in different areas and learning how to do some other things along the way. So it was a little different. My path was a little different, but TV agents, I do know, I've heard good things about getting one. It's very helpful. You need people to represent you so you can get that better offer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I've been having similar conversations. I interviewed Cedric Gray recently. He's a linebacker for UNC Tar Heels. And we were talking about that NIL representation.
Awesome.
So that now they have the restriction has been lifted where they can actually market themselves, they can get endorsement deals and things like that.
Yeah.
So he has an NIL agent. And so the conversation we were having was to, let these student athletes know as they move into collegiate sports what they can do ahead of time with social media, with establishing themselves as a brand alongside being performers, being I think the word he used was producing, just being a good athlete, a solid and strong athlete.
And with them, it's going to be a lot of products. It's going to be a lot of products for them. Like, for me, I'm hoping to come out with my own, like, I change my teacup up like every year. And like, there's a girl who blings it out for me. And people send me cups. And I just spilled the tea recently at a tea house. So I'm looking to do different things and try new things. And like sometimes you'll have like
to align with the product or service.
Yeah, whatever you're selling, whatever your brand is, it could be products, it could be your own, my own teacup. Look, when you see me come out with my own teacup, I don't want to hear nothing, okay? Because it's going down, okay? Like Lady T teacups, you know what I mean? So it's whatever fits your brand. You gotta go with it. And that's exactly what they're gonna start doing. So I'm excited for them because you know what? They should have other avenues to be able to make money.
Right.
So I totally agree with that. So I'm happy that they're getting to do that now, actually. That's fantastic.
All right. So let's see. What haven't we talked about? I think I want some good industry stories. What's your wildest industry story? And now you've got the experience as a comedian to add to the equation too. So now you're rubbing elbows with LA, Hollywood. Yeah.
Oh man. I met a lot of celebs.
Okay.
I've met so many celebs, and I really love it. What was a life changer for me? I could tell you let me see, because I don't think I've had like a nip slip or anything like that. I haven't had a nip slip or anything like that. But I never forget, like, R.I.P. Lisa Marie Presley, but like on TMZ Live when she was going through her divorce like years ago, and I had to comment on there, and like, they knew I was funny from the first couple times that I was on there. But like, I just was like, I got to take it up a notch, every single time. So when Lisa Marie Presley was going through her divorce with her husband, and I used to always see him wear these hats. So my joke to them was, because he was coming at her for everything she had. And I was like, she should have started getting a little bit suspicious when his hat collection started moving all her stuff over in the closet. And I never forget, Harvey and Charles laughed so hard they had to pause the taping of the TMZ Live. I mean, it was a full belly hunch over. And they said, wait, we gotta chill for a second. So then they had to like come back, and I had to they kind of had to do it again because they laughed so hard. And it was like at that moment I knew like where I was going in life. And the joy that I have of making people laugh is like directly that. I was like, oh my goodness. So on not like some wild kind of story that I've had when I was a reporter. Listen, when I was a reporter, there were some wild things that used to be done to me. There was a lot of wild things that used to be done. There was one dude who mistakenly spit on me. I was like, you take a lot. You take a lot.
Okay, tell me that.
Like, what can I say that doesn't sound bad?
It's a wild story. It's a crazy story.
Yes, there was like this lady who, we get cussed out when they call that tip line at my job. And like, I'm like, so I'm trying to figure out which crazy story to tell you.
Okay.
But yeah, we can come back to that. Okay, we'll come back to it.
Okay.
Because there's a lot. I'm like, dang, I gotta censor everything. I'm trying to think. Let me censor it.
So what's next? What's
girl.
next for Lady T?
Let me see. I don't know. What is next? Oh, you know what I want to do next? I always dreamed of becoming like a plus size model.
Okay.
I know it's very far left, but
not
I don't
necessarily.
know.
It's all under the umbrella of, well, entertainment, being a
Yeah, it
personality, an
is.
on-camera personality.
Yeah,
So,
talk about it, girl. Yes,
yeah.
say it. I love dressing nice. I always am known for my fashion and
Mhm,
like
mhm,
my clothes and stuff. So and my jewelry and stuff, as you can
mhm.
see, like people just look, I can't help it. So um
It all started with the purse with the dog.
come on now. It was the dog and it was the fake dog. It was the fake dog. Talk about it. The dog walking. Okay. Listen, I need a real dog. Oh Lord. So yeah, so I think next for me, I want to do plus size modeling. I think
Okay.
I want to I want to act in a Tyler Perry film.
Okay. Put it out there.
I
Mhm.
want to like that's a big goal of mine. I want to be like in all his films, his TV shows. Like I plan on that next. I don't know. I have some dreams in mind. But I really feel like sky's the limit for me. So hopefully you'll
Mhm.
probably see my face a lot more. And you'll probably see, me strutting around somebody's like, fashion show. But I really do believe, I have a platform.
Yeah.
I stand out, not just because I'm so beautiful. But I just, I stand out because I'm this plus size woman doing things that, and like, raising the bar and
Yeah,
breaking down barriers and just representing for us. And I
absolutely.
just I don't know, my mom always told me, she was like, girl, she was like, you don't know, she was like, it has nothing to do with size, anything like that, you're just beautiful in general and it
Yes.
shines through. So I was like, okay, that's nice and all, but I but I like to look good, mama. And
Yeah.
but I just really want to like tackle those things next. I really feel like my brand is just, I am representing for, these women who may seem or feel like they can't do certain things, but you can.
Mhm.
Like really, you
Mhm.
literally can. I am living
Yeah.
proof of it. And I just want to tackle that next. I want to do some more with that. I want to like show that the plus size beauty in us is there to shine through. And
Yeah.
like that's my next thing I really want to tackle. So I'm
Okay.
working on that currently. So we'll see.
Okay. And what shape does that take? Are
Huh?
you doing some? I said, what shape is that taking? Are you doing some? Are you going to do any kind of events? Any inspirational
Oh,
events?
yes. So
Or
I'm thinking of doing like an event. I'm thinking of doing like something. I want to do like a tea party. I want to do like a tea party.
I'm there.
And I'm thinking of that. So I haven't really come together with it, but you'll see. Listen, it's coming this way, okay?
Okay.
But I really want to like my next goal is full figure fashion and just tackling that industry next because that's all I look at online. I'm just like, oh, that's beautiful, that's beautiful, that's beautiful. I'm just like, oh, I need it all. And I really feel like that's next for me. So I'm gonna tackle it in different ways. I'm thinking I need to throw some events and like connect with some people.
Hmm.
I look, I've seen it in my head. I just needed to come
Yeah.
I needed to manifest. So
Yes.
that's my next thing that I'm
It's,
working
it's
on.
already happened. It doesn't
It
sound like
is.
there's been anything that you wanted to accomplish that you haven't.
Yeah, I feel like, and then
Mhm.
when you see it, it's just a favor of God, girl. It really is, cause it's because I'm like, how am I still here? This is amazing. It's hard. You've been through a lot, it's a lot. But I have a good support system. I have my
Mhm.
sister, she's my older sister. I have
Mhm.
my brothers. Those are I call them brothers because they're my
Cousins, but
yeah, they're
feel
cousins,
like
but
brothers.
my mom and dad adopted them.
Got you.
So
Okay. Okay.
I just it's easier to explain it that way. So I just say brothers and
Yeah.
people understand. So look,
Yeah.
it's a running joke at our station. Whatever. The Bruzins
Uh-huh.
are here, and those are my biggest supporters. They will jump around with me whenever they see my face somewhere new. They're like, "Oh my gosh, here she's done it again," and they're hilarious. They get their humor from me. So I have a really good support system. My dad is here, so yeah,
Okay.
we definitely like it's good to have a good support system. Who the people who are for you and the
Absolutely.
people who are against you, they'll fall by the wayside anyway. So, so it's good to have a good support system with
Facts.
you. Hmm.
I love it. All right. So where can people find you, Lady T?
Oh Lord, girl. Okay, so here's where you can find me. Okay, so I'm at My Fair Lady Tea on Facebook, Instagram. You can hit me up on the Twitter, on TikTok. I'm My Fair Lady Tea. Also,
Okay.
I also love doing some restaurant hopping. So you'll see a lot of like good food on my social media.
Ooh,
Just
okay.
FYI. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So yes, My Fair Lady Tea on everything. If you want, follow my website, myfairladytea.net.
Okay.
And of course, you got to tune into Fox45 literally every day.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
on Fox
yeah.
45 every day.
Yes.
So I spill the tea Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I'm on every day for Let Me Tell You. I'm going to make you laugh. I'm going to make you probably belt out, laughing. And then that's probably what you need for the day. That's
Yes.
the medicine for the day.
Perfect. This was awesome.
Oh, thank you. This was amazing. I really enjoyed talking with you.
Yeah, yeah. Same here. Same here. Yeah, this was good. So so people don't always make the connection that the podcast is about change and navigating hardship, and dealing with the grief, the loss that come with change. I mean, that's what the podcast is about. Ooh, those
Girl,
F and C
I
words.
knew it. That's my
Yeah.
life. I literally had to switch everything up due to my mom's passing. And it has literally just been a whirlwind. So everything I do now, my mom, when she had got cancer the second time, I was like, I'm gonna go to LA. I'm gonna do this. And she was like, go do it. And I said, no, you're sick. I'm staying here. So this was really a process for me to like still follow along and do this. So that's my grief. Girl, I'm currently seeing a grief therapist. It is so important.
Yes, yes, yes.
Or else I would give up. So I really am grateful for
So
those who were like,
and that was what I wanted to ask you, but you said that very early in the conversation.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No. I wanted to make sure I circled back to it. But so I'm interested, of course, in that journey, in your healing
a big
process
part of my life.
and
That's
what you did. Yeah. So
that's a big part.
what were the months and the year? Because you said it's been about a year and a half.
It's been about a year and a half because she passed not last year, but the year before, the June before. And I think I really thought that like she wouldn't catch cancer again. I thought it was gone the first time. It was uterine cancer. So the second time when she got it, we were like, she was like, I'm still fighting. And we were with her, went to her radiation appointments, brachytherapy, all that good stuff. And it wasn't until, I remember being in those moments with her, and she started doing some things where it was like, she was like, I got to pay this, I got to pay that, I got to pay this. And she was doing different things around the house. And I was like, why the rush? Like, we're fine. We have time. And in that very same weekend, those were the last times she was able to voice something to us. And then she passed the very next week. So that was a trying time because she was such a she was a force in my life. Like, and I need her. I still feel like to this moment I need her, which is why I'm in grief therapy. Because I'm like, I had to transition from, I get to live with this woman every single day. And now it's like, how do I live my life now without her?
Right.
And you can't just tell somebody like this, oh, get over it. No, this woman was at every single comedy show recording it. This woman was at every single thing I did. Any event I hosted and emceed, she was like, the whole family, we come in. Like, this was my number one supporter I lost. And, it was difficult. So the grief therapy
it's a
really
completely
does help.
different life. Right.
I was like, man, I can't believe I have to be part of a circle of people who have lost their parent or one of their parents. And then I became
Did you do that? Did you find a community
for other people?
Okay. Did you do that? Did you find a community of people who were going through something similar?
Yes. So I did that, but it wasn't in a good way. Like, the people at my job, like, they started to lose their parents too. And it was like, okay, well, Lady T, can I talk to you about this? Because you start to feel like only that person or like understands how you feel.
Yeah.
That's tough. Like, it's like you're trying to tell other people, but they're like, yeah, like, but you don't understand. Like, you don't understand what I'm saying. And you're like, oh, well, you'll get over it soon. No, I still have the anguish. And when the anguish finally goes away, you're like, okay, good. Now it's just the sadness and the sad part, but you really, it's learning to move on and live and develop new friendships with people who have gone through something similar. And you guys we begin to rely on each other. We're like, well, this is the update. Did you have to go through this? You didn't get Social Security. You didn't talk to this person. And how was the planning of the funeral? Was it like this for you? And which funeral home did you use? Like it was an awkward thing to have to like talk to other people about.
Right.
And now you're like the source of like information for it all. You're like,
because otherwise you feel isolated.
Yeah.
Nobody is really allowing you to grieve, especially with a personality like yours.
Yes.
Like upbeat. They expect you to be the life of the party.
Oh.
So it's awkward, probably.
Oh, you really are a grief therapist, baby. Yes.
Yeah.
I talk to my therapist about that. My grief therapist all the time about that. I was like, girl, I'm supposed to be, and I have a life coach too. And I'm like, I'm supposed to be the life of the party, but I miss my mom. Like, I miss her. Christmas was her favorite holiday. So I miss her around then. Thanksgiving, I miss her not rushing me into getting married. Like she was just like, oh, don't you talk to my daughters like that. Like they don't have to rush into getting married or anything like that. And I don't have that blockage, that protection anymore, when we lost her. So, it was just, it's different now. But my grief therapist, she understands that. And I'm trying to be in the recovery phase now, but I'm working on it, girl. There's a process.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And with no timeline. So take your time.
And you guys don't judge. You guys don't judge. And I love that about you. I told my grief therapist, I said, I had a dream where my mom came and sat down on the bed and she spoke with me. And I didn't realize that that's all I was longing for. And we're laughing, we're talking, she's telling me things. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, is that real? And she's like, yes. And she was telling me certain things, giving me certain tips. And she said, you don't think I see what you're doing? She was like, I'm so proud of you. I see it all. And I needed that. And when I told my grief therapist, she didn't even judge me. She didn't think I was crazy. She just was like, oh my God, I'm so happy. She just was like, this is what you needed. You were looking for that validation.
Exactly. And there's no right or wrong. Like whatever you experience after this loss is everything you were supposed to experience.
Come on, tell it. But you don't feel like it. I'm like, man, I got to do all this without her. It wasn't until my mom died. I mean, I catapulted into a whole different, my life. I think I really wouldn't have done any of these things had she not passed away. I would not have taken acting classes. I would not have done any of these things, been like hosting and stuff. If she had not passed away, I was going to stick by her side regardless. And I think that was part of the reason. It was like, God was like, come on, I got to break this up a little bit because you got to grow a little bit. You got to grow and mature. And I'm glad she's not in any pain anymore. So I always see the good in it. I'm like, she's not in any pain anymore. She's proud of me. Like, I got to focus on the good. The bad is that I don't have my number one supporter with me. And I think that's the part I hate.
Yeah, but it's great that you see that you can look at both the negative that comes out of the loss, but also the positives. And those are conflicting emotions.
It is because I'm like, wait, oh, I'm happy. No, I'm sad. I'm
right. But it's all normal. Everything that you're experiencing is.
This is why I love you guys. You guys are so important. And I think I don't know, a lot of people don't know about it as much. I feel like grief recovery efforts. It's a big deal. It's a huge deal.
Yes.
And so important. So significant. You have no idea. So
that's exactly what I'm doing with this show and with what I need to start doing with social media, because it's been a struggle, but that's what's coming.
Yes. You need to start posting stuff.
Yes. To give it more visibility, because people talk about self-care all the time, but usually nowhere in the self-care do people focus on healing from loss. And I say loss because I don't want people to think that it's only death that you're grieving, so that's my platform.
That is it. And that is, that is so important. I tell you, because I'm like, man, look how many people have lost people back to back to back. And you're like, you're not healing. You're just moving forward with a smile on your face, hoping that you don't crack.
And that goes with relationships too. That goes with relationships too. People who get out of one relationship and get right back into another.
Yes,
without a process of healing. Yeah.
You didn't even heal. You didn't even get to heal or anything. Like I remember when my mom passed, I was off of work for like 6 weeks. I was like, I can't function.
Yeah.
I couldn't even function. My mental health was not where it needed to be. I was not able to function. And I got back to work and I was like, okay, I'm getting back into the norm. Yeah. But then it was like seeing funerals. I couldn't even watch a funeral for a while. I was like,
Yeah.
I couldn't
Right.
watch movies about moms dying. I was like, oh Lord, get me out of here. Where is this? Where's the door?
Yeah.
It's a new life for me. So
It
that's why
is.
I'm like, I'm being rehabilitated basically back
Right.
into this life.
Is that
And I'm
better
just
for
like,
you? Is
huh?
it better for you now? Is it slowly getting better?
Slowly.
Yeah.
It slowly gets better. I still have those moments where, if a moment like that happens in a movie, I gotta take a breath. I gotta take a breath. I gotta breathe. And I'm like, oh, I can't see this. I think where it really affects me is my acting, because it's like, you have to play somebody who, your mom finds out they just got cancer, or your dad finds out he got cancer.
Mhm.
And like,
Mhm.
in my acting class, they were like, here are the roles that you guys can choose from. And all of them are like, this person has cancer, this person's mom has cancer, this person's dad has
Yeah.
cancer. I was like, oh, it's too soon. I can't do this. It's
And
too soon.
that's probably intentional. I
Yeah.
dare I say that's intentional, because they probably know people have experienced some type of loss in their life where they can draw on that emotion.
Yeah. It
That's
was for
what.
drama. They wanted
Yeah,
they
exactly.
wanted the drama to come out of you.
Yep.
And I was like, you gonna get a little bit more than drama. Now I'm mad. Like, I don't want to do this. And I'm just like,
Mhm.
no, I gotta get over this hump. I gotta get over
Yeah.
this part. And it really was, it still is kind of holding me back from doing roles like that. But you see, I'm in a
Mhm.
breast cancer ad, and you're supposed to
Yeah.
look victorious and like you're still in good
Yep.
spirits. And
Mhm.
and that was what I portrayed there. But what happens if they ever need me to switch it up? So I really gotta like, my recovery, I'm still healing. I'm still healing
Yeah.
from it. I'm still understanding what triggers me, makes me tick, and how to
Yeah.
get back to normal
Yep.
after.
Well,
So,
I applaud you for doing it, because
oh, thank you.
yeah,
I
yeah.
applaud you. Thank you for this
Thank
platform.
you.
Thank you for teaching us. Thank you for just making this platform available to everyone, because there's a lot of us out here who are dealing with the same thing. How do we push on after this? So you are doing a great thing, and I fully support you, and I support you however you need me
Thank you.
to. If you need brand answers, whatever you need, sis, because we really need to put you out there some more, because this is so important. It's so difficult. It's such a difficult time. So thank you for what
Thank
you're
you.
doing.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for that. I appreciate it.
You're killing it, girl. You're doing amazing. I
Thank
appreciate you.
you.
And you're
All
beautiful.
right.
You're glowing. Oh
Uh,
my God.
Listen, I knew what you were gonna look like when you got on here. I knew you were gonna be beat.
Look, I gotta say, let me take the pearls off now.
Look, I was like, let me pull the hair down.
I
Good
was
light.
like, look, you look fabulous. I said, she came and slayed. She came to slay.
Thank
Oh my
you.
gosh. I'm so glad we did this. Thank you so much for just having me on. It was just an honor. I'm back on whenever else you need to talk, whenever else you need to do this again. I'm here.
Awesome.
You have
Thank
a
you.
sister in me.
Thank you so much. Oh, I
Of
appreciate
course.
that. All right. Well,
All right,
I
love.
will let you get back to your evening. Thank you so, so much. This was great.
Oh, thank you. Many blessings. Love you,
Thank
sis.
you. Back at you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.